Brought to you by DIS, keeping companies connected with cloud-based solutions. Come on, City.
Stuart, good to chat with you again. Congratulations on the year extension to your contract as manager at the football club. It was a pretty significant day of news yesterday. What was your take on what significance it bears for the future of Bradford City now?
I'd like to think it gives us a little bit of stability going forward. I think I said before, the club have had a lot of managers in recent years, and like any football club, if you're chopping and changing, managers, then hence you chop and change players regularly, etc., etc. End of the day, we know football's a results-based industry. When I spoke to Julian a few months back, obviously prior to the COVID, when I came and took the job, it was with a long-term plan really, and a long-term ambition for the football club. It wasn't short-termism. But likewise, you can sign a 5-year deal. If you're not getting results, then you won't be there long. So everyone understands that. But I think if you're going to be fair and reasonable and honest, which maybe not a lot about that when the results aren't great, but we had a six game before the pandemic came. We still not sort of had a chance to assess all the squad, but pandemic comes, we as I said before, we don't know if we're getting a salary cap. We don't know what it's going to be. We don't know if players are coming in. We don't know what the budget's going to be. So we build the best or the squad that we can do at that time. And then, there's no doubt about it. The results haven't been what we were hoping for. Mitigating circumstances, definitely. But it's not about the past now. It's about looking to the future. And, that's what we're certainly doing as a group, as a team, as a football club. And hopefully the fans will back into that as well.
Now the dust has somewhat settled on that news. What's your overriding emotion?
One of determination to change the fortunes of the club around. And, having 18 months to do it and have a few windows to do it, we can look a little bit more long term. Yeah, I understand in the short term, we've got to pick up results and get away from the danger area. We've got 30 odd games to do that if everyone's panicking about that. But, we can't be negative in that way in any way. We've got to look forward to welcoming back players into the squad, look forward to maybe bringing new additions in January, certainly in the window in the summer, and looking to improve the football club all round and building for the future. So that's the aim, that's the desire, that's the drive, that's the determination. Does it mean it's a success? It's going to be a success? No. But there's people at the club that have got the same ambition and hunger as myself, Ryan being certainly one of them. I listened to his interview on the way home last night on the radio. I actually switched it over from Talk Sport, which is a first, but I listened to your interview and I thought Ryan spoke very well. And yeah, there might be shock, amazement, stunnedness or whatever, but I believe obviously I'm going to say that, but I believe it's the right decision to give somebody an opportunity to build a squad and build a culture and an environment in the club, which we're trying to do and we've been trying to do in the last few months.
Given the chop and change culture that football's perceived to have in the modern day climate now, were you at all surprised that the club and Ryan have shown you that sign of faith?
Sorry, you just broke up. I'm surprised the club gave us that sign of faith.
Yes. Sorry.
No, because I've had open discussions with Julian and Ryan, and I think they're both understanding, and certainly Julian when he brought me to the football club, nobody could have foresaw what was going to happen in the summer, and it's been difficult. Listen, management's tough at the best of the times. It's even tougher in what we're going through at the moment, and then certainly tougher for us at the minute because of the results. But that's when you need a bit of character and a bit of, and I think the club have shown that. Have they taken a gamble? Who knows? But maybe they've looked at the fact that last time I left the football club, I left with the highest win percentage in 37 years, Jamie. Maybe they looked at the fact that when I went up at Motherwell, in 4 years I had there, I left with the most successful win rate of any Motherwell manager. So, yeah, we're going through tough times. But I think, you look at the bigger picture. I've said this many times before, regarding for somebody like Paul Jewell. I think he was an absolutely outstanding manager for Bradford City, an outstanding manager for Wigan. No doubt, brilliant, the best, probably one of the best I've ever had. But at Sheffield Wednesday and at Ipswich, Derby maybe didn't go as good. So there's no guarantees in anything. But I'll back myself to get things right. So that's that. Were I surprised? No, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be given an opportunity. It's easy to chop and change. It's been a bold decision by the club, yeah. But I think one that I'm being backed, and for all the people that obviously get in touch with yourself through social media and that, I had 3 people come down to the training ground this week prior to this news yesterday to wish me well. I had somebody drive up to Barrow before the game to wish as well and say there's a lot of good people behind me. I've had letters, texts, emails, everything. So I know there's a lot of people behind me and I've got trust and faith in me. The club have. I've got faith in myself. And I'm determined to give it my best shot. Now, if it doesn't work out, I walk away and I give it a crack. I certainly don't go hide under the covers and, you stand up, you front it up, you get through tough times. Every club, every manager have had tough times, and not all of them come out the other side. I get that. But yeah, I'm happy in the fact that what's made me up yesterday, not me signing my new deal, to see the likes of Novak, Cook, Hosanna, Guthrie back on the training field. That gives me optimism for the future. January coming up, give us a long-term plan to build for what's coming. Yeah, at the moment, we know where we are. We're not where we want to be. We're not where the supporters want to be. They're certainly not where I want to be. But that's where we are at the minute. And we can't change what's gone past. What we can do is look to improve in the future. And that's what we're determined to do.
How nice is it then to be able to draw a line then under what's been a bit of a turbulent recent past for the football club? And for you now, you can fully focus on the job in hand.
Well, it don't just because I sign a new deal mean that the results are going to improve. I've got in my mind, it sharpens my focus because I can look a little bit more long term. So it don't think in my head, everything's rosy. But I appreciate the faith the club has shown in me, and I also, as I said, I've got a belief and a desire that myself and Kenny and the staff and the group can be a success at the club, given opportunity. Now we've certainly been given an opportunity now. And it's up to us to produce the goods.
Just finally on this, Stuart, just with the January window coming up, and there's been a lot of impetus put from yourself already, and speaking to Ryan yesterday as well. What message does that send though to the existing players in the group now?
Well, I think it sends a message that if I want to be involved in here, I've got to make sure my performances are consistent when I get an opportunity, because we are looking. Listen, we're always looking, regardless of what happens. Everyone's looking, and every player knows they're playing for if they're not playing for a contract here, they're playing for a contract in their livelihoods elsewhere. Nobody goes out to perform poorly or whatever, or be inconsistent. But what it does is, all right, listen, this is a manager. If I want to be here, I'm going to give everything I can. People might depart in January. There'll be some incomings and obviously outgoings. But listen, it's up to the players, and they'll crack on, get their heads down, and be the best they can be. And listen, I've always said it. As a manager, there's 2 key roles, although they've been diluted in the last few years, is recruitment and getting the best out of what you've got, and that's what we've got to aim to do.
With recruitment being such a big factor then, would you be at all open to the possibility of having someone come in to aid you in that recruitment in a separate role, or would you like to have continuous full control of that?
Well, when you say come in and help, obviously directors of football for Premiership and Championship clubs, you don't have them. What I've got a close-knit a scouting balance of people. But I've also got a guy that's been helping us out, who I know he knows his football. But the thing at the moment is, you can't go to games. Scouts can't get into games. Now, I know that there's been stuff muted about a director of football. We ain't got 30, 40, 50 grand or upwards to spend on that. What you got to do as a manager, you've got to get in touch with all your contacts, all the scouts, agents, should I say. Again, inundated with things at the moment, but also for us to set out where we want to be, what we're looking for, what players fit our criteria we're going forward, not only price-wise, but character, position, what they're good at, what we want from them. And I think, listen, I look at Salford, for example. Have they got director? Did they need a director of football to bring Henderson from Rochdale, from Clark from Preston, for Lowe from Blackburn, from the kid from Man United on loan, to get Wilson down from Aberdeen, who used to be at Man United? No, they didn't need a director of football, because at our level, them players that you're getting, did Bolton need one for Sarcevic, Crawford, Delfonso, Doyle? I knew all them. I would have been interested in all them. But the key of the matter is, for me, is that I'll know majority of players, right, in Division Championship 1, 2, that are coming out of contract, that maybe will fit us. What we haven't got is somebody at the non-league level, which we'll be looking into. What I have also got is somebody who loves the 23s. Hence, we got Bryce or Hosanna, because that's a key area as well. But you've got to use your contacts in the game. I've got a lot of contacts who are managers of 23 sides, be it in the Northeast, be it local, in the Yorkshire area, be it further afield. So it's about pooling all your resources that you possibly can to do that. Now, I don't need to bring in somebody that to the football club to do that, because I know people that are doing it, actively doing it behind the scenes for me now. They know what position you're on. But as I said, at this moment in time, because of the pandemic, they can't get into SEA games. But what we've got to do is then we get in touch with players' agents, maybe, or people that are coming out of contract, and put the feelers out and get the information back, collate that, and look now it's a longer term project, then who is going to come in and help us long term? As I say, I'm looking at my board now. For next season, we've got 7 players contracted for next year. It's a little bit different to this year. When I came back, we had 15 or 16. Now we've got 7. Now, that doesn't mean to say that all the rest of the boys in the squad won't be getting new deals. If they want to go out and put performances, half of them might be in next season as well, which I would love, because that would mean then we've gone an upward curve and we started getting results.
And presumably it makes those potential contract talks easier, because there's greater clarity about the future of the football club in that time frame.
Yeah, Jim, but we won't be having them discussions for a long, long time yet, as in, adding people to contracts. What we'll do, we're going to focus, which we have been doing recently, on January. And they might even be loan deals, but there might be loan deals from clubs with players that are already going to be out of contracts in the summer. You get a chance to look at them, and there might be ones that you think, yeah, I think we brought Elliot Watt in from Wolves, which I had a contact. I knew about Elliot. I think he's been a good signing for us. But we've also look at other players that are maybe, there's a couple I've got my eye on at the moment, but other clubs want them as well. But that can come in now, but also with a future that when the contract finishes at the championship clubs or whatever clubs they're at, then we've got, a good chance if we get them into the building and do well, and they do well for us and they like what they see, then we've got a chance of keeping them. So we've got to have in recruitment wise, we've got to have a long-term strategy as well, as in not just look to, we're in a bit of trouble at the minute, who can we get in? But who's going to really make us better in the coming seasons?
You mentioned some existing players there, in and amongst all of that. Are you able to welcome anyone back from your injury list?
Yes, yeah, but just as we bring one back, 2 go out, which is just seems to be where we are at the moment, unfortunately. Obviously, Reece coming off the other night. He's had a scan this morning. We're still waiting on results of it, but it's his hamstring, so a few weeks at least. We've got another player that got injured the other night, a muscle injury, and isn't available for tomorrow, unfortunately. But we've got Bryce Hosanna back available. We've got Cookie back available, and obviously Evo is back available as well. So, but the promising thing is, like I say, when yesterday training, Curtis Guthrie's up to 85%, Lee Novak's busting a guts are back involved, Cookie's out, Bryce is out. It's just getting more bodies available. But as I said, we want to get more back available, but not keep losing them, unfortunately, which we're doing as well.
What's the picture with Lee? How close is he, do you reckon? No,
he'll still be a couple of weeks. But the thing with him is he's a fit lad. He keeps himself fit. So what we've got to be wary about, he's been out longer than most players. So you can't just rush him back into it. He needs a little bit more training. He's not joined in with us as yet. He's joined in with the physios. He's doing ball work with the physios. He's doing a lot of running. So he's looking, and when you ask him how he's feeling, he's not feeling good. He's feeling great, and that's what we want to hear. I don't want people being okay or I feel all right. He's feeling great. He's desperate to get involved. Cookie's desperate to get back involved. We need Evo up and running. He needs to get games under his belt. We need Levi to have a little bit more of a up and running, get games under his belt. Will be better for it. And that goes for a lot of the lads. But obviously the more competition we have, not just in the starting 11, but to come off the bench, the stronger we should be as a football club.
How much are you looking forward to tomorrow's game then, Stuart? FA Cup back and an opportunity to get into the third round.
Yeah, and that's talked straight away after the Orient game about this. Yeah, and I think, listen, I don't know if you've noticed the results recently, but the last home game they got beat home at Scunthorpe. So you think struggling. They've now gone away. They lose the first goal down at Exeter and come back and win 2-1. They lose the first goal at Barrow and go win 4-3. So they've had two terrific away results. They're on their day. They're a very good side. They've been a little bit of inconsistency in there, but we've got to focus on ourselves. But it's a game, I think, as I said, with the Exeter game, it could be an open, entertaining game because they certainly like to come out and play. What we're emphasising to players and hoping for is a defensive performance that we gave at Orient. Very solid the other night. As I said, limited them to 1 attempt on goal, but also the attacking flair that we showed first half, but certainly in the last home game against Exeter. So we've got to get the balance. Strong defensively, but not sitting in and being a defensive team, but also go forward and have threats. Last 2 home league games, we scored 5 goals. We've got to look to do, obviously not 5, but we've got to look to, create and take opportunities. And hopefully, we want to progress naturally.
Does it present at all a welcome break from the league? I know it's only for a few days, but you can at least just focus your efforts and focus on something else, a different competition.
Yeah, possibly. I'm just looking forward to the game, to be honest. And I get what you're saying. There's no pressure of getting points and looking at the league table straight after the game and who's done what. It's more of an excitement of, can we get into the, next round? Can we be sat round on Sunday, Monday, whenever they do the thing, and have that bit of excitement, which I think we all would enjoy. So that's naturally the aim. But we're going to have to be, we need to start putting in, really good solid performances. I think we've been okay. Take the Salford game away from it. The last few weeks has been a lot better, and I keep going on. Once we get a few more players in, I would like to think there'll be a big improvement in performances.
Best of luck for tomorrow, Stuart. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
You said there that several players need minutes and need to get that match fitness. Is that where 5 substitutes can help you, in that you can maybe give them minutes that you wouldn't have given them if it was only 3?
Yeah, possibly. There's certain players who are back in the squad now that could, if we're being cautious, realistic, can probably maybe do 20 minutes off the bench at the minute. We saw the other night, it was going to be a plan to give Reece and Clarkey an hour. Unfortunately, Reece got to 53 minutes, and although at half-time he felt brilliant, he not felt a thing, he felt good, he wanted to do the full game. With Clark, it was always the decision to bring him off after an hour. So we just got to be a bit careful. But yeah, the more substitutes we can make, we maybe can safeguard people who are, fatiguing. Lads who have not had a lot of football recently, who might start the game, we know they'll only get 45 minutes, 60 minutes if it's a first bit of football, first taste of football for a little while. So again, we're led by the physios in that, but also by the players.
Presumably, sometimes you have to say to a player, no, you are coming off. You might feel okay, but we don't think that you can last the full, or it might have an impact later on.
Yeah, and they all understand the script. They all been backing you, at half-time the other night, go give us another 15 minutes, and he accepts that and understands that and knows it's best with his body. Nobody's ever happy to come off, but there was not a problem in that, and we'll just have to monitor it as we go along. But it'd be nicer to get, we are getting bodies back slowly but surely. But as I said, unfortunately, at the minute, as we get 2 back, we're losing 2, and hopefully that can stop soon.
Of course, amongst all the good news this week came the bad news that Bradford's in the Tier 3, West Yorkshire's in Tier 3, and won't be allowed any fans at sporting venues.
Yeah, listen, it didn't come as a surprise. That's the only thing. If you sat there thinking you might be in Tier 2, but it didn't come as a surprise, did it? I think I always felt, I live near Harrogate. I thought Harrogate would be Tier 2. And they'll get some supporters back in. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but we've got to get over this. We've got to go over the next month, get over Christmas, and hopefully in the future soon, we can come down from a Tier 3. But I think we knew But then you look at Liverpool, they've got down to tier 2, Manchester tier 3, some London tier 2, so you just don't know. But it didn't come as a surprise, so it wasn't a massive disappointment, although it is a disappointment, but it wasn't a massive shock, should we say.
Brought to you by DIS, keeping companies connected with cloud-based solutions. Come on, City!